There's a particular smell to spring training mornings in Dunedin, a mix of fresh grass, overworked coffee machines, and quiet ambition. And if you listen closely, you can almost hear the Toronto Blue Jays whispering what they want to become this season. Not promising it, not declaring it, just quietly shaping it pitch by pitch while the rest of baseball is still stretching. Here at the Blue Jays Report, I always think spring training tells the truth before the season does. And right now the truth is this. This organization is obsessed with one thing above all else: missing bats. That idea sounded almost laughable to me at first, until I heard Kevin Gausman casually suggest that this staff could lead all of baseball in strikeouts. I actually laughed when I read it, that kind of, hang on, really, laugh, before realizing the numbers quietly support him. Last season, the Blue Jays finished 6th in total strikeouts across Major League Baseball, and that was without the current version of this rotation fully assembled. Gausman at his best is a strikeout per inning machine. Add in Dylan Cease, a man whose slider should probably come with a warning label, and suddenly the idea of 250 strikeouts from one arm doesn't feel like science fiction. Trey Savage's stuff plays. Jose Barrios gives you consistency even without gaudy totals. And then there's Cody Ponce, whose KBO numbers practically leap off the page and demand attention. It's telling that John Snyder keeps coming back to the same word when he talks about this group: improvement. Not reinvention, not desperation, just deliberate sharpening. This staff already did good things, but the goal now is to turn good into suffocating, to turn contact into swing and miss. That's a philosophical shift as much as a tactical one, and it explains a lot of what we're seeing right now. Take the quiet addition of Jesse Hahn, 36 years old, an 8-year MLB veteran, and someone most fans barely noticed being invited to camp. This isn't about upside headlines or miracle rebirths. This is about depth, about insurance, about understanding that pitching staffs crack the moment you assume they won't. Hahn's career has been uneven, but his minor league numbers hint at usefulness, and for the cost of a spring invite, there's no downside to seeing if there's something left to unlock. The more fascinating development, though, lives with Cease himself. He's tinkering again, this time seriously revisiting the changeup. Historically, that pitch has been an afterthought, something flirted with and then abandoned, but the reasoning now feels sound. Right-handed hitters fear him, lefties survive him. Adding a credible third weapon isn't about vanity, it's about survival on days when the slider doesn't slide and the fastball gets read early. Consistency has always been the final frontier for Cease, and this feels like an honest attempt to cross it. The bullpen, of course, remains its own emotional roller coaster, particularly on the left side. Brennan Little is the definition of a pitcher who lived 2 seasons in 1 year. Dominant early, worn down late, and left exposed once the book caught up with him. Being the only reliable lefty will do that to a pitcher, and fatigue plus predictability is a cruel combination. What gives me hope is that Little seems genuinely aware of it. He knew hitters were sitting on his curveball. His catchers knew it. Everyone knew it, except perhaps his pitch mix. Now he's adding a slider, tweaking the four-seamer, and trying to give himself a pivot when counts turn unfriendly. That might not sound glamorous, but for a reliever, surprise is currency. If he finds even a small one again, it could change everything. And then there's the looming anxiety some fans feel about the new challenge system and what it means for pitch framing. I've never quite understood the panic, especially when the catcher involved is Alejandro Kirk. Framing doesn't vanish overnight, and understanding the strike zone might actually become more valuable, not less. Kirk isn't worried, Schneider isn't worried, and frankly, neither am I. If anything, a catcher with his feel for the zone might benefit from knowing exactly when to challenge and when to trust his work. All of this adds up to a spring that feels purposeful rather than flashy, adjustments instead of overreactions, depth instead of desperation, a pitching staff quietly sharpening its teeth while the headlines look elsewhere. If you're enjoying these updates, drop a like, share it with a fellow Jays fan counting innings in Dunedin, and make sure you're subscribed to the Blue Jays Report so you don't miss where this story goes next. Because spring training doesn't crown champions, but it does reveal intentions, and right now the Toronto Blue Jays are telling us exactly what they want to be. And as always, go Jays.